Alright folks, let's get back to the font. Okay, in this video I'm going to continue with the font style. Alright, let's look at the CSS font stretch property. Okay, what happens here is this property relies on the user's computer to have an expanded or condensed version of the font being used for all possible values. Okay, for example, what you can do is, there are many possible values here. For example, you can have a value of normal, wider, narrower, ultra, condensed. Okay, these are all the values that you can add to your code. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, just hang it there. Extra condensed. Check this out, so much control over the way the font is, rendered on your browsers. Semi-condensed, and then you have semi-expanded, extra. Wow, that's a long list. Did you see that? Extra, expanded, and then you have ultra, expanded, and inherit. Okay, and initial value is the default, stretch value is normal. Okay, I'm just using this notepad as my whiteboard right now. Okay, this is not code, I'm just explaining things to you right now. Okay, and this is what the format of the code looks like. This paragraph. Okay, you could have a paragraph font with a curly bracket open. You would say font stretch. Okay, and then you're going to add a value of, for example, you could have ultra expanded. You're going to see how it works. It's a lot of fun. Okay, depending on your browser, the code will be implemented. Okay, I don't know which browser you're using. I'm using Chrome, so depending on what Chrome version I have, the font that I've selected in my code will be ultra expanded. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, and apart from that, let me try to do this. Okay, let me try to type the text. Okay, let's try to, I'm going to delete all of this and start typing code. Okay, let's begin. Let's write doctype HTML. Okay, then begin with HTML tag, then write the head tag, then write title. Okay, and save it, write example. All set. Then write style, type is equal to CSS text /CSS, invert commas closed. Okay, style bracket closed. Right, so I want to stress on this again. Each time you do this, you are declaring that you're telling your browser, be prepared, you have to read CSS styling code here. Okay, now write dot condensed. Okay, curly bracket open, font stretched condensed. I'm going to explain what dot condensed means, and I'm also going to explain this in a simpler version. There are two ways of doing it. There's one way is this. Okay, we haven't covered the dot, how to add dot. Okay, this is calling a class, and I haven't gotten in the details yet. Okay, there is a spelling mistake here. Stretched HED. Yes, condensed. Okay, and what I need to do is close the curly bracket, which I just did, and close this style. Okay, style tag. Let me make sure I type this correctly. Style type is equal to text /CSS dot condensed. Okay, curly bracket open, font stretched, double colon, condensed. Style, yes. All right, then close the head tag as well. Go ahead and close the head tag and open up the body tag. Okay, this is one way of creating code for font, expanded or stretched font. Okay, normal font. Okay, and span class is equal to condensed. This is doing via classes. Okay, I haven't explained this in detail, just hang it there. You're going to understand it bit by bit. Condensed. Sometimes it's best to just jump into the complicated code. It's relatively complicated code, and then try to understand it bit by bit as we uncover what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, normal again, and close the paragraph tag. Okay, and then so students, depending on the font family that you have selected, remember, refer to the previous. So it chooses the appropriate face from a font family. When a face does not exist for a given width, normal or condensed values map to narrow face, okay, otherwise a wider face. So just depending on the kind of font face you have supplied, whatever is suitable for the face, it's like a whole logical steps going on behind whether which font to choose to display and what kind of stretch value to apply to it so that it's more legible. Okay, conversely, expanded values map to a wider face, otherwise a narrow face. So depending on what kind of face that you have applied to your page, the stretch value will be applied to it. Okay, so if it doesn't work, for example, okay, let me just go back to the code. Open up another paragraph, and within this paragraph say, if this doesn't work, it could be that you don't have a condensed version of the default font in your browser/computer. Okay, browser/computer. Also, browser support for this property is very limited at the time of writing. Okay, so which means depends on what version of HTML, what version of browser you're using, and if the support is high, your code will be implemented. If the support is not high, it will be ignored. Okay, and close the body tag, and we're going to try to run into errors and try to check them. Okay, so I'm just going to save it as font, file save, and try to hold on a second. Yes, let me open it up and save it as file save as .html, and it's going to say already exists. Okay, great. And we try to, yes, normal font, condensed font, normal font again. Okay, if this doesn't work, it could be that you don't have a condensed version of the default font in your browser, okay, computer. Also, browser support for this property is very limited. Okay, the purpose of this exercise was to enable you to understand that the code exists. For example, if you test some kind of font and it's not showing properly, you can also apply font stretch property of the font through using CSS code, and you can apply it and test using different values that I just told you, that there are many values here: normal, wider, narrow, ultra condensed, extra condensed, condensed, and so on. You could apply those values easily. Okay, just apply them and check how your page is implemented using different browsers. So this is the kind of web development programming that goes behind all those beautifully styled pages. They check, they test again and again, and they apply font families, font stretch code, until they are satisfied how the document is displayed on different browsers. Okay, that was the purpose of this exercise. Thing I would want to do another example with you, okay, just to change this example here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and delete all of this here. Okay, just delete the style and delete the paragraph fonts as well. Okay, just making sure body open, body close, head open, head close. Yes, all right. And yes, just make sure that the tags are complementing each other. Within the body tag, this is another way of doing it. What I just did was something to do with calling classes and etc. I'm not going into detail on that right now, but let me tell you, CSS has multiple ways of being written. Okay, one in the, again I'm telling you, one in the head area, okay, where you call it constantly within the body of your code, and one in the body area. Let's do the body one. Okay, open up the paragraph tag P and write style is equal to font stretch. Okay, font stretch, give it a value of ultra expanded, semicolon, and close the inverted commas and close the bracket. Okay, yes, let me check if the syntax is correct. Paragraph open, style is equal to inverted commas open, font dash stretch double colon ultra expanded. Yes, there is a dash missing here. See, it won't be read, you know, it's very case and syntax sensitive. Okay, I'm going to write here, if your computer has an expanded version of the font being used, this text will be stretched. Okay, again, it depends what kind of browser you have. If it's not working on mine, doesn't mean, you know, my code isn't correct. It's just a browser implementation issue here. Okay, let's close the paragraph tag. And I think I'm all set. Let me try to save this and see what happens. Okay, all right, nothing happened, which means the default version is working fine. People are able to read it, and no need to apply the expanded version, stretching or expanding the text, ultra expanded. No need for that. Okay, students, this is particularly useful when the browser is very small, for example in mobiles or in tablets or any other devices where there is a chance that the document would be very squished up on very small size font. That's where this kind of code comes to rescue. You can try to save this file and open up in your mobile, and it might appear as stretched. There is a good possibility. So it's like an intelligent program judgment, logical steps going on here, okay, based on how the browsers communicate with each other. All right, with this I am all set for this video. Up next, I'm going to talk about font style, font variant, font weight, and font property. Okay, stay tuned, I'll be back.